Good evening, friends. Settle in, close your eyes, pull up your blanket, and let's drift into a gentle, wondrous story. This is a bedtime tale about the hidden universe inside your head and how it mirrors the vast cosmos above. I'll speak slowly, softly, so you can relax and let your mind wander into sleep. Ready? Here we go. Once upon a time, deep inside a living world called the human body, there existed a magnificent city known as the brain. This was no ordinary city. It was alive with billions of tiny, brilliant beings called neurons. Each neuron was a small, glowing spark of life, with long, delicate arms called dendrites that reached out to listen, and a single long tail called an axon that carried messages like lightning. In this city lived a young neuron named Neuronic. He was brand new, his dendrites still trembling with excitement and curiosity. "What is my purpose?" he asked the wise old neuron beside him, whose name was Synapse. Synapse smiled gently. "You are part of the greatest network in all existence. We neurons think, feel, remember, dream. When a signal arrives at your dendrites, it awakens you. Electricity races down your axon like a shooting star, and at the end, in the tiny gap we call a synapse, special chemicals called neurotransmitters leap across to the next neuron. That's how thoughts are born, how memories are made, how you feel joy or fear." Neuronic listened in awe. He learned there were different kinds of neurons. Some were sensory neurons, messengers from the outside world. When you touch something warm or hear a soft lullaby, we carry that message straight to the brain, they explained. Others were motor neurons. We tell your muscles to move, to walk, to smile, to hug someone you love. But the most magical thing was how neurons learned and changed. Neuronic watched as his friends strengthened their connections. "This is called plasticity," Synapse whispered. "Every time a signal travels the same path, the bridge between us grows stronger. That's how you learn to ride a bicycle, how you remember your favorite song, how you fall in love." Neuronic reached out with his dendrite and felt a warm spark. "I remember," he cried happily. He began to explore the great city of the brain. He visited the hippocampus, a beautiful library where memories were carefully stored like precious books. "We keep your stories safe here," the librarian neuron said. "Short-term memories echo in our halls, while long-term memories are sent to the vast cortex to live forever." He wandered to the limbic system, the emotional heart of the city. Here, neurons danced with joy, trembled with fear, or glowed with love. He saw the amygdala, guardian of emotions, and the hypothalamus, quiet keeper of hunger, thirst, and sleep. Sometimes storms came to the city. "What happens if a neuron gets damaged?" Neuronic asked. Synapse's voice grew serious. "Then diseases can appear. In Alzheimer's, connections break and memories fade like stars at dawn. In Parkinson's, a chemical called dopamine runs low and movements slow. But humans are clever. They create medicines, therapies, and new ways to help us heal." Neuronic felt proud to be part of such a resilient place. One night, as the body slept, Nuranik drifted into a dream. In his dream, he floated upward out of the skull and into the night sky. The stars stretched endlessly above him. Suddenly, a soft cosmic voice spoke. "Look, little Neuron, you are not so different from us." Nuranik gazed in wonder. The brain, he realized, was a miniature universe. There are about 86 billion neurons in a human brain, roughly the same number of galaxies in the observable universe. Each neuron, with its hundreds of thousands of connections, was like a galaxy with its spiral arms of stars. The synapses between neurons were like the invisible gravity that holds galaxies together. Signals raced through the brain at up to 120 meters per second, while light crosses the cosmos at 300,000 kilometers per second. Yet the principle was the same. Connection creates meaning. Nuranik saw the cerebral cortex as a glittering galactic disk, thoughts sparkling like newborn stars. The neural pathways were like cosmic highways, carrying information across vast distances. And just as galaxies cluster into superclusters, neurons formed networks that gave rise to consciousness, creativity, love. In your brain, the cosmic voice continued, new neurons are born in the hippocampus, just as new stars are born in nebulae. Memories strengthen like gravitational bonds. And when connections weaken, it's like stars drifting apart in an expanding universe. Nuranik thought of black holes, places where light cannot escape. "Are there black holes in the brain?" he asked. "Yes," the voice replied. "In diseases like depression or amnesia, signals can become trapped, lost in darkness. But even black holes can evaporate, and memories can sometimes return." He saw the brain's energy use, 20% of the body's power for only 2% of its mass. Stars, too, burn brightly, consuming fuel to shine. Nuranik flew past galaxies that looked like pyramidal neurons, with their wide bases and pointed tops. He saw elliptical neurons, like smooth elliptical galaxies. The brain's fractal patterns, self-similar at every scale, mirrored the large-scale structure of the universe. And the most beautiful truth: the atoms in your brain were forged inside ancient stars billions of years ago. The carbon, oxygen, iron, they traveled across the cosmos to become part of you. You are made of stardust, and your thoughts are the universe dreaming. Nuranik returned to his city, filled with wonder. He knew now that every thought he helped create was a tiny echo of the cosmos. And so, dear listener, as you lie here tonight, remember, inside your head lives a universe of light and connection. Your neurons are dancing right now, weaving the story of your life. And outside, the real stars are shining down, ancient and gentle, reminding you that you are part of something infinitely beautiful. Close your eyes. Let your breathing slow. Feel the quiet rhythm of your own brain, a small cosmos at peace. Sleep well, sweet dreams. The stars and your neurons will watch over you. Good night, ChatGPT, skazal. Ata el, icha en aya, idaya de el ya de el. En aga, a sleep fed a Milky Way. En isha ye, a eshe, yen, en ayava ye es yara es kaza. Akakau erate, en ahuva ye elicha ye en ayapa ye en ava 3. Erasap alba yamu. Asim ye de el ye en euro te ye paom. De apael en ite ye el yeri en euro Yabe erase alami. Yaga ke yen aucha en euro ipe aya asen ye en ipe alave en euro ipe ye yakada. Te yaka estapa de kaade ite de el ya osevuche ke yespa ako akratkoi en euro ga ala asoem. Yese, ka ikasim Euros elave, Eurokas ka ache kalve, ya asoka nel este, el yeri, ya te onesef ye erua erige en alea. Pa eras te oge elube, el era esche, eri elka, ashe de uyuche as te yeri. Good evening, friends. Settle in. Make yourself comfortable. Let your body sink gently into the bed. Close your eyes if you wish. Feel the soft weight of your blanket, the quiet of the room, the calm of this moment. There is nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to do. Just listen. Tonight, I will tell you a slow, gentle story. A bedtime tale about the hidden universe inside your head and how it reflects the endless cosmos above. I will speak softly and unhurriedly, giving your mind space to drift, to wander, to relax. You don't have to remember every word. Just let the images float by like clouds. When you're ready, we begin. Once upon a time, deep inside a living world called the human body, there existed a vast and magnificent city known as the brain. This city never slept. Even when the body rested, its lights still glimmered softly in the darkness. From the outside, it looked quiet and still, but within its walls, an entire universe was alive and glowing. This was no ordinary city. It was built not of stone or metal, but of living light. Billions upon billions of tiny, brilliant beings lived there. They were called neurons. Each neuron was a small spark of life, delicate yet powerful, shining gently in the neural twilight. Every neuron had its own shape and purpose. They carried long, branching arms called dendrites, which reached outward like tree branches, listening patiently to the world around them. And each neuron had a single long tail called an axon, stretching sometimes for great distances, carrying messages as flashes of electricity, fast and bright like shooting stars. Among all these neurons lived a young one named Neuranik. Neuranik was new to the city. His dendrites were short, but growing, trembling slightly with curiosity and excitement. He often paused to observe the streams of light rushing past him, wondering what it all meant. One day, unable to hold his questions any longer, Neuranik turned to a nearby neuron whose glow was calm and steady. This older neuron was known as Synapse, wise and experienced, with countless connections woven through the city. "Tell me," Neuranik asked softly, "what is my purpose here? Why do we exist?" Synapse smiled, and his light pulsed warmly. "You are part of the greatest network in all existence," he said. "We neurons are the language of thought itself. Through us, the human feels, remembers, imagines, loves, and dreams." Synapse explained patiently. When a signal arrives at a neuron's dendrites, it awakens them. A tiny electrical impulse is born, racing down the axon like lightning along a wire. At the end of the axon lies a narrow space, a tiny gap known as the synapse. And across this gap, special chemical messengers, called neurotransmitters, leap gracefully from one neuron to the next. "That leap," Synapse said, "is where magic happens. That is how a thought is born. That is how a memory forms. That is how fear tightens the chest, or joy warms the heart." Neuranik listened, filled with awe. As time passed, he met many different kinds of neurons. Sensory neurons arrived from distant borders of the body, carrying messages from the outside world. "When the human touches something warm," they said, "or hears a gentle lullaby, or smells fresh rain in the air, we carry that information here." Motor neurons spoke with quiet confidence. "We carry messages outward," they explained. "We tell muscles when to move, when to rest. We help the body walk, breathe, smile, and embrace someone it loves." Between them were countless interneurons, thinkers and connectors, weaving information into meaning, turning sensation into understanding. But the most magical thing Neuranik learned was that neurons could change. He watched as signals traveled the same paths again and again. Each time, the connection grew a little stronger, a little brighter. "This," Synapse whispered, "is called plasticity. We are not fixed. We grow and adapt. When the human practices, remembers, or feels something deeply, our bridges strengthen." Neuranik watched connections thicken like well-traveled roads. This is how the human learns to speak, to read, to ride a bicycle. Synapse continued. "It is how a melody becomes familiar, how a face becomes unforgettable, how love takes root." One day, Neuranik felt a signal pass through him again and again. Suddenly, something clicked. The path felt smooth and bright. "I remember," Neuranik whispered joyfully. Encouraged, he began to explore the great city. He traveled to the hippocampus, a graceful, curved structure deep within the brain. It felt like a vast library bathed in golden light. Here, memories were carefully sorted and preserved. "We keep the stories of your life," said a librarian neuron, adjusting a glowing strand of memory. "Moments from today stay with us briefly, echoing in these halls. Important ones are sent onward to the great cortex, where they can last a lifetime." Neuranik wandered further, arriving at the limbic system, the emotional heart of the city. The atmosphere here was vibrant and alive. Neurons shimmered with joy, pulsed with excitement, or dimmed softly with sadness. He met the amygdala, a vigilant guardian watching for danger, ready to sound the alarm when fear was needed. He met the hypothalamus, quiet and steady, maintaining balance, controlling hunger, thirst, body temperature, and the gentle rhythm of sleep and wakefulness. "This is where calm is born," the hypothalamus said softly, "and where rest begins." But not all days in the city were peaceful. Sometimes storms passed through. Nuranik noticed areas where signals faltered, where lights flickered uncertainly. "What happens," he asked, "when neurons are damaged?" "Synapses glow softened. Then illnesses can appear," he said. "In Alzheimer's disease, connections slowly weaken and memories fade like stars at dawn. In Parkinson's disease, a chemical messenger called dopamine becomes scarce, and movement grows slow and heavy. But humans are resilient," Synapse added. "They learn, they study, they create medicines, therapies, and new ways to help us heal. Even when paths are broken, the brain tries to find new ones." Nuranik felt proud. This city was fragile, yet strong. That night, as the body drifted into sleep, the city changed. The noise softened. Signals slowed into gentle waves, and Nuranik felt himself drifting too. He entered a dream. In the dream, he floated upward out of the city, out of the skull, and into the open night sky. Stars surrounded him, countless, silent, eternal. A soft, cosmic voice spoke from the darkness. "Look closely, little neuron," it said. "You are not so different from us." Nuranik gazed in wonder. He saw that the brain was a universe in miniature. There are about 86 billion neurons in a human brain, roughly the same number as galaxies in the observable universe. Each neuron, with its branching dendrites, resembled a galaxy, with spiral arms reaching into space. The synapses between neurons were like gravity itself, an invisible force binding everything together. Signals raced through the brain at up to 120 meters per second, while light crossed the cosmos at unimaginable speed. Different scales, same principles. Connection creates meaning. Nuranik saw the cerebral cortex spread out like a glowing galactic disk, thoughts flickering like newborn stars. Neural pathways formed luminous highways, carrying information across vast internal distances. Networks clustered together like cosmic superclusters, giving rise to awareness, imagination, and consciousness. "In your brain," the voice continued, "new neurons are born in the hippocampus, just as new stars are born in nebulae. Memories strengthen like gravitational bonds, and when connections weaken, it is like stars drifting apart in an expanding universe." Nuranik wondered quietly, "Are there black holes in the brain?" "Yes," the voice replied gently. "In depression, trauma, or amnesia, signals can become trapped, lost in darkness. But even black holes change over time. Light can return. Healing is possible." He noticed how much energy the brain consumed, about 20% of the body's energy, despite being only 2% of its mass. Stars too burn intensely, sacrificing fuel to shine. Nuranik saw neurons shaped like pyramids, like spirals, like smooth ellipses, mirroring the shapes of galaxies themselves. He saw fractal patterns repeating at every scale, small reflecting large, inner mirroring outer. And then he learned the most beautiful truth of all. The atoms in his tiny body, carbon, oxygen, iron, were forged inside ancient stars billions of years ago. Supernovae scattered them across the universe. Time carried them into planets, into life, into thought. "You are made of stardust," the voice whispered. "And when you think, the universe is thinking through you." Slowly, Nuranik drifted back into the city. He returned changed, filled with quiet wonder. Now he understood. Every signal he carried, every memory he helped shape, was a small echo of the cosmos itself. And so, dear listener, as you rest here tonight, remember this. Inside your head lives a universe of light and connection. Right now, your neurons are dancing softly, weaving dreams, repairing pathways, preparing tomorrow. Outside, real stars shine patiently in the dark sky, ancient and gentle. You belong to both worlds. Let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts drift like distant galaxies. Feel the quiet harmony of your own inner cosmos. Sleep well, sweet dreams. The stars and your neurons are watching over you. Good night, crescent sparkles.